Hello and welcome back to Skull and Bones. Right, today we're doing some rogue hunting. The reason I've been doing this is not necessarily for the mats. If I need that, I'll go and do some plundering. I've been doing quite a lot of that since the plundering video. I think Grand Fort is my favourite because you get a decent amount of. In fact, I think I've got 4 stacked up for that at the moment. Anyway, that's another problem for another day. Today we're doing the rogues hunt. Now, the reason I'm doing this is because I saw a streamer. He doesn't like to do them because of the rough seas. He doesn't like it. Which is why I thought when I got the bark, that's what I knew exactly what I wanted it for, was for the rough seas. I used to do it in the snow, and it just, I used to go through mountains, a lot of repair kits, just from the beating it used to take from, well, the rough seas, which is why primarily we start from the west and head east, because that's the way the ocean goes, and you get to ride the waves. Speaking of which, there's a wave right behind us, but we ain't going to need that. Right, so when we scan this, we did notice that one of the escorts was carrying an Orca mechanism, which is obviously one of the materials that we're after. So we've marked him, and he's the first one we're taking down. Being very aware of their torpedoes. These are, in my opinion, the worst ones to do. They're in the roughest seas and they got those torpedoes that don't seem to be impeded by the waves at all, but they can be difficult to see. Which is kind of why I like the bombards, because you haven't got to aim too much. You can watch, take quick pot shots, generally hit something, and get them down as quickly as possible. Now the trader does make a run for it, but he never gets that far, so I do mark him anyway, or his general direction. Because if you're weaving around trying to avoid these torpedoes, you can lose track of him. Or I have lost track of him. That's fine. It just respawns. You just sail out the area and then come back, or go off and do the next one and then come back to this one, and it'll reset. So there's no worries with that. Even if another player comes in, if you get a hit, if it's the mission you need to complete, because obviously when you're early on, you may need the res, the sugarcane tobacco, or whatever it is the mission's offering. So if you are doing it, especially if a player comes along, if you've dropped your mortar on him to start with, like I did at the start of this one, then don't worry. Even if they kill him out of sight, you've done damage to him and the mission will be complete. You won't necessarily get his loot, but if it's more the res you're after than you're trying to farm the materials, then you can't actually lose. Just make sure you do some damage to the target ship, and incidentally do I try and get damage on all the other ships, just to make sure I get some loot if he drops it. So if they do are carrying anything nice, you still have a chance to find it and pick it up. Right, so that's the last of the patrols done. So he moves on to the trader. I'll start trying to take him out with the long nines, hit his sails, and then if you get the sail damage, and obviously that does a large part of damage, it generally kills him, or simply just drop a mortar on him. Yeah, that works too. There you go, mission done. Right, now we need to move on to the next one, and one of the reasons we do generally start from the west is so that we can stay with the current and ride the waves rather than fight against them, which will move us on to our next target and get us there fairly quickly. And it's quite nice to surf them. Because if you're coming the other way, you take a lot of damage. Not so bad in this ship. You can pretty much go for it. Even if you brace in the snow, you tend to take some damage, unless you're going at your slowest speed, in which case you're going about 5 knots. It's going to take you forever to get across, but you don't take any damage, so that's pretty good. You just don't seem to be getting anywhere. There we go. We're just checking out the loot. That's the Orca mechanism. I think the next one we're going for are the garnets. So hopefully they're going to have some garnet saltpeter on there. And there they are. There, garnet saltpeter, there you go. So mark that. around. So that's handy. We've got two out of two. And there's a rogue close as well, so there's a good chance we'll have him intervene. So drop it, try and include some of their and then take out sails on the undamaged. About 4 or 5 hits on the sails, and then the long nines come into their own. The idea is though that they don't actually last long enough for you to do that. That's just in case things go a little bit south. The ship's happening a little bit freaky there. There you go, that's one down. Yeah, hit the button, pressed it for too long. That was a mistake. Right, go for that's that rogue. He's come in, and he's got torpedoes, which is not good because the Garnets don't have torpedoes. Fortunately, he does seem to be a great shot with them, though. Oh, maybe that's on. There we go, right, let's got rid of the torpedo guy. Get back onto the main objective. Should be that one finished. I think it's one more, isn't it? He's staying well out of it. The waves aren't quite as bad over this portion, and then as we move north to the next one, it settles down quite nicely. So these are the worst two. And it's only the fact that I think the first one with the torpedoes, I think that's generally the most hated one, and it's not my favourite, but since I started using the bombards, I'll definitely find it a lot easier. Right, that's that mission done. So that's the two. I have got another one to do, but I think I might leave the video there. I think that's pretty much covered the two worst ones. The other two are pretty much on the flats, and you can do them with cannons or anything. You can do these ones with cannons if you're really patient with it, but sometimes on the rough seas I just found it too difficult, and the sea does seem to absorb the balls as well. It does not like in Sea of Thieves, for instance, where you can shoot through the waves. I don't seem to notice that happens much in this. You fire a wave, catches the ball, that's the ball gone. Whether it doesn't connect, which is a bit of a shame. Whereas the bombards tend to go over anyway because they have an elevation as soon as you shoot them. I mean, so do the cannons to a certain extent, but not as much as the bombards. And you seem to be able to loop it over the waves quite nicely. So with that then, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.